All right, we got a 2014 Cadillac Ats. I think it's the 2.0, maybe the 2.5. It's the non-turbo. I know that. And if you are leaking coolant from the rear of your engine, or it seems like it's coming from the rear part, you probably either A, can't really see it, but there is a what's called a coolant water outlet, and it's right underneath this. I think that's an evap pump, some shit like that. All right, so there is. Let me see if I can get in there for you. It's right. Yeah, you can't really see it, but it's there. There it is. See that little sensor? That sensor? It's got an O-ring on it. It's only held in by a little push ring. You can see right there, the silver, little silver thing right there. So this sensor, let's see if I can get some better light on it. Hold on. That sensor right there is a coolant temp sensor. Now to get to that, you got to take off this, and that's the evap pump. So I'm making this video to give you tips and tricks on how to do this job because it is a pain in the ass. So what I did was I actually did not have any problem with my coolant temp sensor. I had this hose right here that you can see the hose clamps on. That little hose is connected to a hard plastic hose. So you got about 3 inches of line of rubber line that runs up to your coolant water outlet, it's called. So to do this job, you have to literally take the hood off. You're going to save yourself time and energy. It's 3 bolts on one side, 3 bolts on the other side, and the 2 little clips that go on right there. You are going to want to take off this line right here. Pinch it, slide it back. This line right here. Pinch it, slide it back. This is 1 bolt, comes right out. Take your coolant reservoir right out. It's pretty easy. Next, you're going to take off your heater core lines, or whatever the hell that thing is. I think that's the heater core that, produces heat in your car. Again, you do not have to undo the lines. There are clips here. Slide the clips back. Take the lines off very easily. Make sure you slide those clips forward. I had one pop out on me and I had a shit time finding it. Another tip, very important. There's a clip here. That wire goes into that clip. I broke my gray piece off completely. As you can see, it is gone. Okay, and that is $100 part. And that's kind of the cheaper version of it. So when you are doing this job, be careful for this thing right here. Unclip it, get it out of your way, and make sure you do not mess with that. It is a high pressure fuel pump. And there's your lines. Okay, if you ever have to take that off, there's videos on it, but you do not have to do what I actually only saw one video. This kid took his manifold off and everything. If you already have your cowling and stuff off, and I'll get to that, you can easily take this off. All you have to do is unscrew the top line. You don't even have to disconnect from here. I went and bought the things to disconnect high pressure hose line. Don't even need them. You unclip from there. This whole hose moves right out of the way. On the bottom, there's another connection. And also right there, where I'm shining the light, that's a little lower hose. It goes from there, loops down, and back up to the bottom of that pump. And it's all 17 mil. Okay? But to get to that sensor, coolant temp sensor, or to the hose that blew, you first have to, again, take off the hood. I didn't take my hood off until much, much later in the job, and it was so much easier. Take the fucking hood off, put it somewhere, okay? Take your evap pump off. Very important. Replace the gaskets. The gasket that goes on to the engine is like a $10, $11 gasket, and I'm pretty sure it's rubber. The gasket on towards the bottom that looks like this, right here, it's an $80 gasket. I don't know if it's metal or what, but I watched another video of a guy said, replace that or you will get an oil leak. So I replaced it. And it's unfortunate too. You're going to want to unhook these connections. There's grounds back here. You're going to want to take those off. Get them out of your way. It's another lone ground underneath this one. You could take that off. It gives you better access. But to get to all this, you've got to take off your whole top. And that's the cowling and, you know, all that crap. So once you, there's actually another video of a guy doing this job. I'll try to post a link. He goes through how to take off the cowling. It's really the cowling itself, the plastic, it's sitting over there. It is just a bunch of plastic clips holding that in. Under the black plastic is the metal connector. Or whatever, you know what, I don't even know what those things are called, but that is bolts. And that little spot right there is where where's my windshield wiper? You got to take your windshield wiper blades off, you got to take your engine cover off, and you take your windshield wiper actuator, motor, whatever the hell it is, that comes off, but that also comes off pretty easy. It just sits into that little grommet that I was showing you. I'm going to post a link. The guy shows you how to get this cowling off. It takes about 40 minutes. It's tedious. It is not difficult. So once you have all that disassembled, you take your line off here. Like I said, be careful with this because that likes to break. There is a bolt connecting this lower radiator hose. It's kind of like right there. You'll see it. It's blue. It's right there. You want to undo that bolt. I believe that's a 10 mil. You unhook the radiator hose from here, and it will give you the slack you need when putting everything back together. That coolant outlet is like a $25 pot. Might as well just replace it since you're back there. So if you're doing the sensor or you're just doing the hose, they don't actually sell a hose. They sell what I saw in another video, some Daco hose that the kid used. I'll try to post that link too. What you need to get this done, and what saved me, was these right here. And these right here. Okay? You can get down there and detach the hose and the other hose from the other side. You can see it right there. I got the light right on it. Make my camera work a little better. Right there. That hose, right in the middle there, that hose connects to this where is it? To this down here. Comes out, branches off towards the passenger side, and right there you can see one of those snap rings. You can kind of see it. Those things are a nightmare. This phone keeps getting fuzzy. Those things are a nightmare to get off. Okay, and that's where those needle nose pliers and all those other things are. I suggest, and when you order a new coolant line thing, a new coolant